I have very much been anticipating this album. If I can't have love, I want power. Ever since I first heard Halsey for the first time on Manic, and it's one of my favorite albums I've covered on the channel to this day. We've been through her entire discography at this point. I'm also listening to this album like a week after everyone else, so I kind of just want to dive into it because I've been pretty anxious to get into this. I will say that I did see the film, the about hour long film that she released in theaters. My girlfriend is a huge fan of Halsey, so that was a must. Not to mention, I wanted to see it myself, obviously, and it was just a kind of a artistic masterpiece more than anything for me. It was pretty visually stunning. I don't want to spoil that for anyone that hasn't seen it and plans to see it. However, they can see it at some point. But I will say that they played a few songs in the movie. I'm not sure. I know they didn't play the whole album. I did my best to sort of remove myself mentally from that and more so focus on the visual aspects of everything. That way I can be able to give you guys this video as genuine as possible. I don't remember anything lyrically. It might trigger something when I hear it, but in my head now I can't think of anything. Also, even the sounds, I can remember sort of sounds but not melodies or anything. Point being is that, full transparency, I did see the movie, but also I don't really remember any of the music. So this does feel fresh for me. As always, the full completely uncut reaction to this album, all the albums that I do, all of Halsey's albums, her entire discography is on my Patreon. Links down low if you want to see that. It's a bunch of other stuff as well. Actually, since I am doing this late, I've seen that multiple YouTubers haven't even been able to get this album up. So heads up now, if you're watching this on YouTube and a whole song is missing or multiple songs are missing, it's because of that. Because it seems like a lot of people are just getting fully blocked with this album, or if like a lot of the song is cut up, that'll be the reason. Because this one seems to be really heavy for that. So heads up, if you want the full thing, the link's down low. The first track on this album is The Tradition. It does a really good job of, one thing I know she wanted to do was make this darker in sound, and one thing it does do is build that feeling up. Like I'm feeling like I'm in a really dark place. There's like this whooshing sound also too that makes you think you're sort of outside at night, sort of in a windy area, and obviously it's at night so it's dark. Yeah, like I have this feeling of just dark. There's like a theme of like biting off more than you can chew as far as that goes. She wanted all of this and got it, but like it wasn't really what she wanted. This is your song. Ooh, oh, I gotta get hit with that again when all that piano comes in. There's just a lot happening. The boys will be boys thing, I'm not quite sure what she's talking about, but referencing back earlier in the song with what like the lies hiding behind the smile and flesh amnesiac, this is your song. Amnesiac is it's another word. It's amnesia, but it's the person as opposed to the actual diagnosis of amnesia. So it's someone that is specifically experiencing memory loss. So if you're a flesh amnesiac, I feel like she's just saying it's just someone that uses people, like flesh is human. So you're someone that just uses people and forgets about them. And clearly the way she's kind of running through the song lyrically is that's what she kind of went through with this person. And then going into boys will be boys, not sure what she means, but the saying that like that wasn't true. I don't know, but the point is I feel the darkness. She nailed it, especially when this comes in right here. It goes right into Bells in Santa Fe. That's, for what I understand she wanted to go for, that's the perfect way to start this album out. And I like the whole like the tradition and speaking on kind of like creating her own tradition or her idea of like this tradition that this person made as far as what she was supposed to go through. It's just the perfect way to start off an album, both lyrically, sound wise. I know, I'm aware of who produced the album and like how important that was to her and everything. It's not the kind of music that I would listen to really, like the people that did produce this album. But I know that they've been in the industry a long time and have had a lot of success. And I also know it's so different from anything Halsey's ever done, or like anything related to pop whatsoever, pop music. So I think it's so dope that they did that, and they can have a song that sounds like this, which likely sounds nothing like, as a whole anyway, any of their other music. Um, and she's able to kind of still have her Halsey influence, but have the influence of the guys that were in Nine Inch Nails. So yeah, let's go to Bells in Santa Fe track 2. Okay, this song is fucking great. First of all, this song is fucking fantastic. I like this song about 5 times better than the first song. There's a lot of lyrics in here that I'm gonna have to look up. First of all, like that second hand, second hand, second hand. First of all, the melody of all of it is just so good. I didn't really catch any of those like second hand bed, second hand man, second hand. I don't know. But this whole Jesus play on words, he needed a 3-day weekend. And then the way she's really emphasizing that all this is temporary could be in line with the Jesus lines, but it could also just be in line with what she's going through and how that's temporary. Or it could be like just maybe when she was in a place of feeling like life is temporary, potentially. That's a really dark place to go. And I don't know for sure, but like you could also be saying like life is also temporary, and I gotta remind myself life is temporary. So I go through all this shit now, like where the idea that I'm just a bed warmer and I'll just leave in the middle of the night, it's fine because I'll die one day anyway. That's the really really dark potential narrative, or just the fact that like what she's going through is temporary and it'll pass. Okay, she's doing some nice transitions song to song. Okay, I do have the lyrics here. Fortified. I said 4-5 defense. Easier than lying, track 3. I have a feeling this is going to be the heaviest song we've heard so far. This is probably much more in the realm of what she envisioned, like could have been the full capabilities when she, landed the producer she landed. Because already you could just feel it, like, wow. You don't know you. So he makes her a villain. You give to me from yourself, you take. Okay, I don't know what fuck. This is unlike anything I've ever heard from her, ever, at any point. This is so fucking heavy, first of all. Wow. Excuse my language. I knew that we'd get... I don't know if I heard this or not. I don't recognize it yet. But God, is it heavy. Wow. It's a Halsey I haven't heard before. And we're more along those lines of someone is sort of like she is what they make her to be, which is an incredible amount of control for someone to have over her, and that's like another painful place to be. But again, when she's singing it like this, it's like a constant punch. This is what she wanted, right? When she reached out to, it's Trent Reznor, right? When she reached out to them, this is what she wanted. All right, we're doing poetry. We're doing poetry in like this rock influenced song right here. How am I supposed to catch on to poetry, Halsey? Don't do this to me. Fuck. My heart is empty. Artery. And she said innocent artery, which saying like her heart is innocent. And it is literally an artery. It's gasping for attention. Gasping makes me picture the heart beating. The right kind of attention, I think she's saying too. And something hypertension is what she said. And hypertension is literally blood pressure. So she's saying her heart is like begging for just blood pressure because it's empty. There's so much there. There's so much like it's incredible between some of what I'm getting here already, especially this song, but Bells in Santa Fe as well. Manic was so poetic, and the fact that I'm getting that here already, just 3 tracks in, makes me so happy and giddy and excited about what's to come with the rest of this album. Fuck, like what a lyric that is. What an anatomy lyric. Like she's playing Operation on everybody now, but like she said losing you is easier than lying to myself, and I thought she was done because that makes sense. But she's saying losing you is easier than lying to myself that you love me. Oh yeah, because okay, this is full circle because this is the healing process at this point. This is her giving up on the situation rather than staying in the situation and trying to convince herself that this person actually has her best interests at heart. Because they clearly, if especially if we're in the same vein of the previous songs here, they clearly don't. I mean, this song too. She's sleeping with one eye closed, one eye open. Um, it's, and Belle's, she's like sneaking out of the room. Like, there's so much going on here. Okay, that's an incredible song. That is kind of a perfect song. Uh, I think I like Bells and Santa Fe's more my taste. But this song is like made for the Halsey fans that love rock. This funky like she did that. She really did that. Like that's a whole ass moment. I feel like Easier Than Lying. It's just an incredible song. I don't know how else to put that. All right, let's just keep going. Lilith, or yeah, Lilith track 4. Biggie's about to. That's right. She does fuck with Biggie, right? Because this feels like Biggie's about to hop on this track and start like. This is straight Biggie inspired. This is straight up Biggie inspired. I didn't hear her mention that in the interview that I watched, but man, oh man, this is so inspired by that. I romanticize and then I get the stress in, which goes straight into overthinking again. The first, before that outro kind of started, like after 2 minutes, I think it did. The first 2 minutes of that, immaculate, maybe my favorite moment on the album. I love that. I could just run that over and over again. Those 2 minutes, just nonstop. Just her cadence on the delivery of all her lines. She's saying it, but yeah, but there was like a cadence to it the way she was going at it. I just love that. That was fucking sick, is what that was. All right, "Girl Is a Gun" track 5. I remember this melody right here, and now that I remember it, I think this is the one that stuck out to me the most when I was sitting in the film watching this one, because this one just resonated with me strongly as soon as it started right here. So this cup is overflowing with the same damn problems, which kind of is another sort of biblical-ish reference, which calls back on the Jesus line that she had earlier in the song. Oh, I love that. The boy, stop calling. I love the way she delivers that. And also, there's kind of a playful sort of delivery on all these lines, even though she's talking about running through whatever, like the darkness and holding a gun with the safety off, and she's like, "Yeah, turn the lights on if you want to find out." And basically, like, I'm not the one for you. Like that's where she's at this point. And this is another really really great song. We've got a streak here. We've got 4 straight songs to me that are just great songs. Man, I love the vocal delivery on that. Kind of Madonna-ish too, a little bit, and definitely the most different sounding song on the album. Like there was a lot of cohesion that we got there, and it sounds like a song that doesn't even belong on the album. But I'm okay with that actually, because you don't. I mean, you can't just. You don't want to like if every song was like Easier Than Lying, it just wouldn't make sense, you know. Or even some of the like Lilith like is so different as well actually, which I really appreciate. Like now I'm getting a lot more eclectic sounds as the album expands, and I'm so fucking here for that. 4 incredible tracks in a row. Like for me, they'd all be 9 out of 10 or above, all of them. You Asked For This is track 6. That one stuck out to me as far as the title, because that's just very aggressive. So let's see what she sings about here. She's talking to herself. That's so fascinating, because when I see You Asked For This, my immediate thought is she's like giving it to somebody. Like, you asked for this, but she's talking to herself, and that is like a lot of the sort of themes of her music has been bringing things upon herself and like sort of being a magnet to certain things. So to have this come up here is it's a resounding moment. Like the song is also along the lines of Easier Than Lying, as far as maybe a sound that she envisioned when she brought in the producer she brought in. I don't think it executes quite as well as Easier Than Lying. It's definitely a different sound though. Like they're not meant to be the same song, but I do appreciate its message and moment and where it's played. Nice transitions between songs. I felt like that was gonna happen. I really wanted to kind of let it happen, and I like that it happened. It's happened pretty much every song for the most part. The song didn't do a lot for me. I understand it. I understand what's meaning, and it makes perfect sense as well too. Like it's a well written song. After she in that bridge when she was sort of going over all the things that she does ask for, there was some harmonies that started with the outro music, and I liked that. That I did like. I will say that. Okay, track 7 is "Darling." That's nice, calling back to her being a little girl. And what I like about that specifically is she goes back to like what she was inspired by at some point, but also it's so specific as far as scenery goes and setting. And I talk about this a lot because Taylor does this a lot. Um, Setting up the scene, and as you're singing you can literally, it's storytelling at its finest, really, is when you can completely envision kind of like shot for shot, scene for scene, um, what's happening. And that's exactly what's happening here, with especially from first verse into second verse. Is the first time she said that line, "Only you have shown me," I thought she said "love me in a life," but I think she's saying "only you have shown me how to love being alive," which is the perfect way to cap off that song, which I believe is for her child. I feel like she might have talked about that in the interview I watched her do. I don't fully remember, but this feels like it's definitely geared for that, especially when she's touching on her own self growing up and the things that she would resonate with as she was a little girl. Um, I like that. I really like that song a lot. Okay, 1121 track 8. Wow, I know the parts of myself I've hated. Can't tell which ones are mine and the ones that I created. Leading into that, talking about body burying. I'm pretty sure there's a reason I remember this melody the second it started. I'm pretty sure it's because when I was in the theater, this song is the kind of song that does not leave your body. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Or I would break it for you, which is basically you asked for this all over again. Like, you could have my heart. Don't worry, I'll break it because I ruin everything anyway. This is the song out of all of them that not only do I remember the most, uh, like I said, that there's a reason I remember it the most, because this song doesn't leave you when you hear it for the first time. This is probably my actual favorite song on the whole album. This is an incredible fucking song. I don't it, like even if I she could be talking about flat screen TVs. I like that melody is so strong, and the way her voice goes up there and gets all emotional and almost cracks a little bit too. But the fact that she is talking about things that actually matter just makes it hit so much harder. Like, this song is the best one on the album. It's the only lyric that you can appropriately end this song on, because that lyric is the best lyric on the whole album for me. That lyric and the lyric with the heart, the empty heart, and like talking about the blood, the hypertension, and the blood pressure filling that artery. Like, those two lyrics for me. Oh, and then also there's the lyric with the flesh amnesiac. Like, it was just such a clever way again of describing someone that just, uses people, and forgets about them. Like, those are three lyrics for me that stand out so significantly, and I'm so happy that I've gotten the writing that I got on this, because there's a progression, right? Like, I did. We listened to all her albums. We went through every single album, and there's definitely, like, when you go from Badlands to Hopeless Fountain Kingdom. Is that what it's called? The second album, Manic, and now this album. The writing. Like, for me, the writing goes from, like, the writing in the first album is decent, but when you get to the second album, and you kind of have a concept album that she created, I feel like with the second one anyway, you've entered like a different level of writing with Hopeless Fountain Kingdom, and that alone was just so impressive. But then you get to Manic and this, the writing between these two albums is just like top tier, as good as it gets. It just doesn't get better than writing as far as these two albums go. So I'm glad that we stayed consistent with that, and it's arguably even better than Manic from a writing perspective. I would like to let it finish first, but so impressed. I'm so impressed so far. I'm so happy that I am so impressed as well. Honey, track 9. This is the problem. This is the problem when you make an album this good. When you have this amount of songs on an album that are this fucking top tier, right? There's like, so far in my book, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs that are fucking impeccable, just amazing songs, and another song that I just really like. this song is fine. It just doesn't match up with those songs. I get the concept. Uh, the production on this song is actually really good. Um, it just doesn't match up with the other ones for me is all. But that's because she set the bar so high with all of these songs. Okay, track 10 is Whispers. Oh my god, and that Glimmer of Light reference, which goes back to like the like the whole scrolling through your phone and the light from that as well. Um, it's we're back on track. This is my point. You can't. Oh, this is another. She's right back in her bag. She's right back in her back. I love this, and this is super clever too. Like the whispers. She sabotages again. She references how she's a self sabotager, but this time she's referencing the voice that does exist that tells her what what it she really should be doing, the decision she really should be making, as opposed to the sabotaging or even being in these situations or whatever it might be, or just not to like hurt herself again. But it's a whisper. It's a whisper, and I love the whispers and the play on that. And we're back. We're back because this is another really good one. Man, Fly to a Castle. I wonder if that's a reference to Castle, which I think was on her first album, right? Or was that Hopeless Fountain Kingdom? I think it was Badlands. I think Castle was on Badlands. This whole like creating this entire second alter ego, not even like the second existence that's inside of you, that's a monster. That whole set of bars, so sick. Like feed the, just got multiple personalities. Feed it 70 capsules because they need medication for all of that. Obviously, multiple forms of medication probably too. We'll fly away to Castle, so at least we could say we went on a vacation or something. At least we could say we died being traveled, because if you take 70 capsules, you probably overdose. So if you go to the castle, that's probably your last trip. You probably die on that trip. So you could be like, well, at least we're gonna die anyway, because we're overdosing here because we got so much fucking shit going on. But at least we traveled. Oh, we have a song that actually ends. Some of my favorite lyrics. It goes right into the pantheon of the other lyrics on this album, and it's got one of my favorite flows. Again, she did it again. This is something she's doing here apparently, like that Lilith flow. That and this flow are two of my favorites she's done, and then the lyrical scheme she did there with creating the second existence within her, which plays into the whispers. Obviously, like someone speaking inside of you and having multiple people and personalities. That's a great song. Okay, I'm Not a Woman. I can't see the title, but I think it's I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God. I think. Track 12, track 11. I like her use of the word martyr. It makes perfect sense within this album. Also, it makes, I don't know if I heard this song in the movie or not, I don't recall, but I will say that using that term martyr just leads me into her mind and her, the way she thinks, and it just makes perfect sense because she was sort of made out to be a martyr kind of in that movie without really, again, I don't want to spoil it for people, so I don't want to get too much into it, but I just can't help but again be so impressed by her words and mind. I do like that even though she went so outside the box with the producers, she still manages to keep a lot of the classic sort of trap and hip hop elements that she's into using, that she's got littered all over her music. And it's in this album, and I thought for a little bit that we would go away from that because of the producers that we had, but no, she didn't do that at all. Give me the last 20 seconds of that song for more. Elongate that, because that was my favorite part of the song, was those last 30 seconds or whatever it was. Okay. Track 12, The Lighthouse. I don't like that song. It just wasn't for me. And just the general sound of it, it's just not for me. That's all. Hopefully it's for you though. Okay. Track 13. I'm not gonna try and pronounce this, but I know that I don't know if it's this one or 1121. Remember she said it was because of her partner, and I don't know. I think it's this one, track 13. Like I remember the name being unique, and it was a name she got from her partner, and then that's why she named the song after it. but I don't remember if it's this one or 1121. Is 1121 when they met? Was it like 1121, like November 21st? Is that when they met? I don't know. Let's just listen to the last track. Okay, this is about her part. I remember. I get undertones of sadness. I think about the moments that I didn't get to spend with you. This is about her partner because she thinks about. And I remember her saying that she thinks about all the time that she didn't get to spend with him, all the stuff she had to go through, all the time before they met that she was without this person. Those are the undertones of sadness that gives her, and that's so powerful. To think like that is such a powerful feeling, I think. So I like that a lot. Again, you'll bury me before I bury you. Talking about I can't live without you. I literally can't live without you. So you're gonna have to be the one that buries me. And that's beautiful. I love that. And I love to hear Halsey sing about that. And she sounds great singing about that too. Like hearing her voice and her vocals singing about something like this is just pleasant, I guess. But it also could be because I've heard her sing about so many things that are more in the realm of going through a lot, so it's just nice. Add that lyric, by the way, to the Mount Rushmore of lyrics in this album. That song, you couldn't have a better closer for this album than that song. You just couldn't. What an experience. This is a great album. I'm so happy that she met all my expectations. She exceeded all my expectations, because who on earth could expect lyrics like I got on this album? We got more poetry within, like, totally like sounds from Halsey that I'm used to, but also sounds that are also completely different from anything I've heard from her. And obviously she worked with different producers again, so that made sense. I only recognized I feel like I recognized less songs than I thought I would, as far as how they sound from the film. I think I recognized like 4 or 5 at the most, which was nice. It was nice because a lot of it felt really fresh. All the lyrics were fresh. There's a few songs in here that just blew me away. When you consider, there were the Lighthouse, Honey, and You Asked for This. I don't really... Is it that? Yeah, it's the Lighthouse, Honey, and I think it's You Asked for This. Yeah, it's got to be. That I just don't particularly care for. That being said, there are so many songs in this album that I not only like, love, do care for, that are immediate contenders for Song of the Year. I'm already... I've been spending a lot of time recently thinking about, like, when the year is over, my top albums of the year, my top songs of the year, like if I do a top 20 probably, and then I probably have like maybe 2 artists that might have doubles in that top 20. Halsey's got to be a fixin' for doubles, right? Because there's a couple songs on here that are more than a couple. There's a few songs on here that are some of the best songs I've heard all year. And when you talk about lyrically, I haven't heard lyricism like this year. I just haven't, and I feel like I was waiting for Halsey to hear that lyricism. Because I've said she's a poet so many times, and she literally is a poet. She's an actual poet, right? So I'm not surprised per se by getting that poetry on this album, but again, I couldn't have expected her to be as... It just... The level that she hit lyrically on this album is special. It's special, and like the average person can't just conjure up those types of lyrics and make them make sense and put them in schemes where they fit into the album, and they don't just fit, like they all, the story is told perfectly on this album as well. Yeah, I was so impressed. I really enjoyed this. Thank you for sticking with me through this, and I can't wait to go back and listen to my favorites, which I'll tell you now. My favorites would be Bells in Santa Fe, Lilith, Girl is a Gun, Darling, 1121, and Whispers would be my 6th favorite. You know what? Easier Than Lying is too good a song to not be one of my favorites, so we'll put that in there too. It's just too great a song, that's all. All right, got those 7. That's a lot, by the way. See y'all later.